I know you're sitting thinking, why did Tate not decide he was Neo? Because Tate has all the Aikido and the masterful, nearly superhuman abilities.
What saw that from Tate? What a crunching shot!
But I am Morpheus because Morpheus dedicated his life to trying to find other people whose minds were ready to be freed. He said it himself, not all minds can be unplugged.
And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
Some people are just not prepared. And when I say we're living inside the Matrix, I'm not stating that with irony or as a joke, or I don't want you to use it as an example of how the world could be. We are genuinely, actually living inside of the Matrix. The Matrix is real.
This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix.
The very basic premise of the Matrix is that humans are nothing more than batteries for the machines.
In order to change a human being into this.
And in the world we currently live in, every single one of you is being reduced in real time to nothing more than a QR code. You are losing autonomy over your own bloodstream. You're losing the ability to walk freely, to go where you want, to make own personal choices regarding your medical decisions. You're losing all of that. That's all being replaced because you are a cog in a machine, and that machine is soulless. They want you to do your job well enough for them to benefit, but they don't want you to think outside of that job. When you're playing chess, you take every single opportunity to exert power. That's how you win. If there is a weak square, you conquer it. If there is an undefended piece, you take it. If you can check his king, you'll check his king. You'll pin his pieces. You'll fork him. You'll do anything you can to exert power. You'll find a weakness and you will exploit it. Now, if you don't do these things, you lose because your opponent will. So when you understand that the governments of Earth, all the varying governments, and let's go a step beyond that, call me a conspiracy theorist, the varying interests which are above governments, which control, the food you eat, the money you use, who buy all the politicians, these interests, when they're combating, they make sure they take every single possible opportunity to exert power. Because if they didn't, they would lose. It's a chess game. Now, for the sake of YouTube, I'm not going to say what I believe. In fact, what I know these varying power interests are. A lot of people still think in terms of right and left politically, or they think in terms of China and America from a country perspective. It goes beyond all of that. And these are the kind of things I talk about in my private conversations inside of the war room. But here on YouTube, I'm not going to say it. For the sake of this video, it doesn't matter who these powers are. It only matters that you understand they exist and you understand what is happening. You understand this is an opportunity for people who are only interested in power to exert more power. Now, quickly, I have conversations with people who are far more ignorant and naive than I, and they don't understand why people would just chase unlimited power. They say, well, why would the people in charge of the world make us do all of these, if it wasn't good for us? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And these people are ignorant because they've never had any power, but they don't understand that money gets boring, fast cars gets boring, nice meals gets boring. It all gets boring, right? The only thing that never gets boring is power, because power gives you an adrenaline rush. It's an ego. It fuels your ego. It feeds you. If you were born with absolutely unlimited money, you have no respect for money. You've never been poor. You don't have that juxtaposition to compare it to. You've never sat there hungry. So of course you don't appreciate when you have food. Do you think the people who are born into the families that print the money are going to be happy with a Ferrari? What's a Ferrari? 200 grand? These people control trillions. They're uninterested in that. What they're interested in is being respected and revered and feared like God. They want power. They're power crazy because this is human nature, right? Power is the only thing that can bring them any kind of joy. So they like to exert power. Most people are still asleep. Most people are still blindly complying. And they are complying thinking that this is going to go away. When the truth is, this has only just begun. Nothing is going anywhere. It has just started. You need to become obsessed with wealth. I can't explain how many times during this episode of human history I have managed to skirt the rules purely because I have huge sums of money. It doesn't matter if I take a private plane when there's no flights. It doesn't matter if I contact my friend who has a business to get me the correct visa to get into a country I'm banned from. It doesn't matter, right? I can give you 100 examples, many of which I won't see on YouTube. The point is, when you have a lot of money, you then get a lot of influence over others. And with influence over others, you can begin to skirt some of the rules. So the first thing is you need to become obsessed with wealth creation. I want everyone here to understand something. I'm not a philanthropist. I don't really care about making you people rich, and I certainly don't need your money. So if you think that I run Hustlers University or the War Room or these networks for money, you're absolutely mistaken. I have enough money to live for the rest of my life. The reason these networks exist is because if I help enough people make money, and those people trust me enough, and they can see that what I say about wealth creation is true, then they might start understanding that what I say about the world is true, and I'm gaining powerful allies. If you agree with everything I'm saying about the current state of the world, then I want you to be rich, because you're going to help me. This is why Hustlers University exists.